Well, hi there and welcome to another edition of What's the Word. I'm Tom Malone. I'm joined this week by Shane Mann from our sponsors Ladbrokes. Got Brendan Duke in the middle and Johnny Ward up beside me here as well. How are you guys? How have you filled your football-free days there for the last couple of days, Johnny?
Went to Bellewstown on Wednesday.
How is that? It seems to be
great day out.
Everyone raves about it.
Like Bellewstown is a track that it kind of has this feeling of something that they put together for a few days every year. But like the facilities, I thought were excellent, you know, and very, very friendly staff. The weather was unbelievable. It was just before the heat wave came to what seems to be its official end. But
who were you up there with?
Went with a few Racing Post personnel who shall remain nameless, and went with my flatmate Mark Corrigan, whose father would have trained beef or salmon, and Damien English's father put us up for the day.
Oh, very good.
Great day.
Very good.
Great
you would
day.
recommend?
Got out in the last as well, which is, you know, just the creme de la menthe.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Dukey, what about you? Are you still double
You were
dipping?
there actually, of course. Didn't say hello or anything.
Just because I was down in the trenches, you were back with the generals. And, I have to be.
You want to see the spread of fish we had?
Yeah, well, of course. I'm on about the soldiers. They were on basic rations, were they? That's the way. Yeah.
How was that?
Well, no, it was fun because it's where meat goes to party, the Bellew, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it. You can bell me anytime.
Okie doke. Did you have as an enjoyable time? Maybe not quite the same level as Johnny, but.
Well, I backed some winners, which made it very different to the Curragh. So yeah, so
you went 3 days as the Curragh without a winner.
Oh,
yeah, red your blood.
That's scary stuff.
You did a good day in Countdown as well. Go and tell us about the word you got in Countdown. Because it inspired probably the tweet of the week, I'd say.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Yeah, no, I thought so.
Yeah. I got fellatio.
Alas.
Yeah. Well, yeah, indeed, yeah. But no, I had a very good game actually because I also got a 9-letter word. Missed a fairly straightforward numbers game, but got predicate as well. So it was a good day.
Good stuff. Because I love that you talked about Countdown like someone would talk about golf. Yeah. Like him missed that.
Well, you did ask him recently what his plan for the week was, and it was like write my blog and get my hair cut. That's it. Plenty of countdown.
We're brilliant racing at the weekend. Of course, the Carl Eclipse at Sandown, the highlight upcoming at 2:10. Before we can talk about this, like Saxon Warrior backing up after 7 days.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, look. Lancaster Bomber did it, I suppose, earlier on in the season, but
Lancaster Bomber is what he is. Maybe this fella could be a huge stallion for them, you know. And he obviously was a great white hope. Sent off odds on the Derby, sent off whatever, even money at the Curragh, and I'm absolutely amazed. I think it's great for racing that he rocks up.
I don't think Aidan though has the best record with them coming out within 7 days.
It's okay.
But most of them are pacemakers, to be fair. Yeah. So the vast majority of those are pacemakers who are.
It's an interesting one because obviously Ryan Moore isn't riding him. I don't think that's an issue at all. But what's the downside versus the upside here? I think they're crying out for a 1 2 race. Yeah. I think they're done with a 1.5 miles. Even though I don't know if he doesn't stay. I kind of think he doesn't stay, but I'm not 100% sure. Never thought he was going to win at Curragh, but I think this will be his trip. And this is a chance where they're like, let's have a look early in the week, just see how he is. And then he was probably in grand shape, and they're like, let's take a punt on this.
Given the way the race ran at the Curragh, Brendan, it seemed to be quite a muddling race. Would you be okay with just going for 10 furlongs? Do you think maybe we've just seen the best of Saxon Warrior already?
I do. Well, I think there is a real chance that the rigours of top flight competition are getting to him, Tom, because I noticed before the Curragh he got particularly edgy. He was sweating, he was on his toes. He certainly didn't do that before the 2000 Guineas. Now, someone said to me that he did it before the Derby, but unfortunately I was playing Countdown at the time, so I only saw the race. I didn't see the preliminaries, so that might suggest I would certainly, if I was back in Saxon Warrior at the weekend, I would wait till late and have a look at them before the race.
Shane, how do they bet at the moment?
Yeah, Massar 13-8, Tom. 3-1 about Roaring Line, 4-1 from 7-2 in the last few hours. About Saxon Warrior, happily 7-1. Forest Ranger 12-1, 25-1 Cliffs of Moher, 25-1 Hawkbill, 100-1 Raymond Tusk. We have the date 8 as well, so for each way terms.
Beautiful. Anything in there for your each way thieving instincts, Johnny?
I don't have each way thieving instincts, to be fair. Right. I think we actually had a drunken discussion about this after racing with a clerk of the course the other night, and we're just on about each way terms are just obsolete really anymore. But anyway, I do like Saxon Warrior each way at 4-1. I can't see him being out, notwithstanding Dukey's issues about his temperament and all that. I still think he's run rock solid races over maybe the wrong trip the last twice. I think Dunica rides him every day. That's a positive. He does have to reverse the form with the 2 Derby horses, but I can still see him run a huge race. I think they have 2 others in the race to kind of help him out. They shouldn't be winning. So if you're looking for each way as well, you've maybe 3 or 4 realistic winners, and I give him a very big chance.
What about you, Jiki? Do you think Massar wins this? You can see Roaring Lion finally turning over Massar. What way do you see it?
I think it'll be close between the 2 of them. They're closely matched horses. I disagree with Johnny. I will be place laying Saxon Warrior. I think he's going to blow out completely. I think he's going to boil over before the race. But I will be having a substantial each way wager on Happily.
Okay.
Who, of course, should have won the French Oaks, except for the middle of the race. Ryan Moore, in a spirit of entente cordiale, decided to just let all the other jockeys take his position. She could never get a run at it, and I think she's just building towards a peak effort.
Yeah.
Good efforts over a mile when she probably wants further. Should have won the French Oaks. I think you'll see a peak effort on Saturday. She definitely can win, and I'll be shocked if she's out of 3.
What about Massar? Do you think he's a worthy favourite? Do you think he
Yeah,
can
I
win
do.
this?
Yeah, he's tactically versatile. He was very, very good at Epsom. Saxon Warrior has 4.5 lengths or something to find with him. He's a likeable horse. I don't think there'll be a lot between him and Rory Line as well, and Saxon Warrior necessarily. But no, he comes here relatively fresh. No reason to knock him.
He seems to be a really important horse for Godolphin. It's a chance for him to sort of get back on the bloodstock map, really, isn't it? Like
year on year, you're just like, where are these stars? Like, they just don't seem to appear. Absolutely,
you could argue that the most important person in Godolphin is Jim Bulger, where because he has provided access to the Galileo line, and therefore, if you want to go and have Derby winners, you need access to Galileo kind.
He's going to be an interesting stallion because he's pace as well. He's not like a slogging mile and a half horse, a bit like his dad actually, who would have been versatile in that regard as well. Definitely. Coming from that Galileo line, he is important for them. Like, they do have some very good stallions, but
worthy favourite or vulnerable?
A bit of both. Like he's probably not a star, but you know, he was what price you said he was? Remember when he was 25s?
He was 25s in the morning returns.
Your man was odds on. Like, so
16s,
that's,
I think.
You always have to, like, don't just look at the form. Look at what prices they were going into the race. And
do you think that form will stand up to the Derby form? I mean, DXB has come out, Saxon Warriors come out.
He's trained by Mark Johnson, so he could run anyway any day of the week, basically, and he ran an absolute stinker. I laid Saxon Warrior to Curragh, but I was like, the second favourite straight away isn't running for me. You blame the ride a bit. I thought he was disappointing, but Epsom's a crazy track. Epsom is a glorified Bellewstown. You know, it really is. In fact, Bellewstown's probably a fairer track. So for anyone to say that Saxon Warrior can come out and reverse the form at Epsom, of course he can. Yeah. But I still think Massar is very, very solid. You know, he comes here, he'll run his race.
Cool. Well, we got some decent racing at Haydock as well. We'll start with the Lancashire Oaks. Give us a few prices there, Shane, the smaller field here.
Yes, Horseplay currently 11 to 4 home, God-Given 4 to 1. Precious Ramotsway for John Gosden, who I think he's won 4 of the last 7 renewals, 9 to 2, along with Mississippi 9 to 2. Flattering 10 to 1 for Aidan O'Brien, 20 to 1 Euro Nightmare, Snowy Winter 33s.
Anything jump out for you here, Jiki? Any of these could not win this as well as winner, I suppose, couldn't they?
Yes, I thought it was an impossible race. I would have made Horseplay Fav. Coronet came out and boosted the form. The third has gone in since as well, but she didn't back up particularly well after her debut last season. So I have concerns about everything in the race. A token selection for Horseplay.
Okie doke, Johnny.
I quite like Flattering actually. I thought she just might be an improver. Great chance for Mick Hussey as well to have a sort of a big winner over there. I mean, when she won at Cork earlier in the season, it was atrocious ground. But in fairness, she beat a very, very solid horse, William McCreary's.
Beat Bloomfield's on quick enough ground at Cork last time, which is solid.
Maybe I think we spoke about this. Maybe Bloomfield would want a bit of an ease, but these horses can just keep improving, you know. And I think she'd probably be able to get out in front. The rest of them are total much of a muchness job. I think the English horses they are what they are, like, but she might have a little bit of improvement in her. She's one of the 3-year-olds in the race and tends to have enough selection. Proper
big Saturday handicap at 145 in the Old Newton Cup. Shane, how did they bet in that?
Give you the first 4 here, Tom. Addy Purse currently 7 to 2. Seen a lot of support this week from 7 to 1 at the top of the week. 8 to 1 then Teodora, 9 to 1 Crown Eagle, 10 to 1 Golden Wolf, 12 to 1 Bar.
Do you think Addy Purse is the group horse in the handicap here?
I love Frankel as a stallion, I have to say. I really, really liked him.
Top stallion in Royal Ascot as well.
A lot last year.
What's that?
You were complaining about the whole Frankel hype last year.
Yeah, I think that's kind of died down a bit, but I just like him. I think they generally have lots of talent, maybe a little bit on edge, a lot of them. Himself and Camelot have had a wonderful
last couple of weeks.
You know, Camelot's Camelot is going to save the Monjou line, I think, now by basically...
Needs saving, but yeah.
Yeah, he does. Like, basically, Monjou gets national hunt stallions, you know, and he doesn't... But this lad is, you know, obviously he was a Guinness winner. But anyway, this favourite here, how fascinating is he? Jamie Spencer, you know, big field handicap, gambled on in the week. He has he has the headgear and the mouth gear on, basically on his King George handicap win in Royal Ascot. He probably will be winning this, but you have that question mark, you know, where is he coming back into the season? But I certainly have a lot of faith in his trainer to...
trainer in incredible form the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
35%, 7 from 20.
And it does not look a lovely place to start off. And again, it's a good handicap, but there probably aren't that many with you know, if you look at, say, Golden Wolf is second favourite. He hasn't won any of his last 5.
Yeah, they're not.
That's where we're at.
Progressive horses in it.
Love Roger Charlton horses. He's well drawn. Again, did he go off the boil? Dukey's on about Saxon Warrior. He is a Frankel. They can be a little bit tricky. Or is he going to come back as a 4-year-old and wipe the floor with these? I prefer to think he might do that.
Yeah, I would be of that opinion too. Dukey, are you against Addy Percy? Going to find something at a bigger price in his big field handicaps?
I'm not massively against him because obviously they think he's a group horse and he's only £6 higher than that Ascot romp. He could go and make a mockery of this, but the reason he's only £6 higher is because he couldn't get out of his own way in the next 2 runs. Yeah. So there's just...
I like that.
Yeah, so it is a concern, and you're getting 4 places as well. And I thought this Teodoro, who's also up coincidentally £6 for his last win by 6 lengths. So it was a small field. The handicapper hasn't gone mad. I can understand why, but he's well drawn. The boy Kingscott takes the ride. He's not exposed. He's only had 12 runs, and I think each way 4 places. He'd be my play in the race.
Okay, fair enough. Before we get on to Sunday, of course, by Sunday we will know, or at least we'll be close to the answer. Shane, is it indeed coming home?
I think it is, Tom. And I think
you
will...
feel free to after time here. Feel free to after time.
Yeah, slightly biased here. I did back them at 18-1 at the start of the tournament. I thought they were a bit of value. And they've broken the jinx now, of course. They've won a penalty shootout against Colombia, a game which they should have won in 90 minutes. We all know what happened in the last minute. But I think they'll beat Sweden comfortably. And I think so. I think a 2-0 possibly in 90 minutes. Under 2.5 goals, and England to win is 12-5. That's my nap of the weekend. Anyway,
okay. What about you, Johnny? Is it coming home? Yeah. I think this match on Saturday could be the equivalent of like pushing stuff
Sweden
into your
eyes.
eyes.
Very poor, I think.
They're not poor, but they're bang average. Like they are bang. They're basically, you can get to a World Cup, and if you fluke your way through the draw and defend, they
2
can
banks
defend.
Of 4 and you're
they
fine.
can defend.
That
at
game
least
against Switzerland was horrendous.
Switzerland were worse than even they were, and Sweden just did enough. They fluked a goal, and then they obviously, you know, whatever. But they're bang average. Having said that, I could see them stopping England from scoring and then kind of fluking their way into. But that side of the draw is just, it's so weird. Like the France-Uruguay game with no Cavani, that's going to be... France were my idea of the winner. I'm still siding with France or Brazil. Brazil can defend. They're more like
first Brazil team to defend.
Once they can defend, and you know, they look like they're set up like an Italian side defensively. They really know how to defend, and I don't think you win these tournaments unless you can get through these tight games by defending well. I think that's more important than having a free scoring. So Uruguay might get away with it without Cavani, but I'd be with France or Brazil myself.
Let's move on to Sunday at a Fairy House at Brownstown Stakes. Dukey, I'll bring you back in here. You had a little nap there during the football. Right, Brownstown Stakes at 3:30. Not the strongest race in the Irish pattern. Generally, what do you make of it?
Yeah, no, I thought it was tricky again. I mean, Could It Be Love should win. If she repeats either of her last 2 runs, she will win. Because that's strong form, the Irish Guineas behind Alpha and the Jersey Stakes. However, she had 2 really hard races. I mean, she was carried out in her shield and made the running in both races. And she has a little bit of competition for the lead here from Lincoln Rock. So just at the likely prices, I thought Hence was a filly going places when she won that handicap in the Curragh. She did disappoint in Ascot, all right, so you have to forgive her that. But race will set up well for her. She's probably going to be around a double-figure price. I thought Hence each way.
Yeah, fair enough. One of the only 2 races in the Irish pattern Aidan O'Brien has not won as well, actually.
Oh.
That is a hell of a stat.
What's
a good stat.
The Curragh Stakes.
What a shout.
Right.
That is a hell of a stat. I have a general rule, and this is one of these bogus rules that really you can't I don't like back and war front horses at odds on, and I think this horse could well be odds on. Not a stallion I'm particularly a fan of. I think a lot of them don't train on. I think, you know, I'd much prefer more conventional kind of European stallions. like Frankel, who is the stallion of lightning quick.
We're going to get you a hat.
The Jukester makes a very important point. She had 2 hard races. I think on either of those runs she will win. She holds lightning quick on Guinea's form, but lightning quick, Johnny Murtagh's horses have been really blossoming. Great. I'm delighted for the narrative of the Irish season that so many trainers have shared the bounty, particularly in the classics. Obviously Joseph, Ken Condon and Jesse. But we've also had like other trainers that are more modest level having a good time, like Richard O'Brien and Johnny Murtagh.
Yeah, Richard O'Brien, Damien English was the first winner at the Curragh last weekend.
And I think this horse, Jamie Spencer rode her in the Guineas. He wasn't too hard on her. She stayed on nicely. Yeah. If Jukie's talking about competition up front, if she does and she blows out, I'd be much more inclined to look at something at a price. Hence is a chance, but I'm with lightning quick.
Right, let's get on to some best bets for the weekend then. Right, and we'll start with a nap, and then you can give us a little multiple for the weekend. All right, Johnny, you look like you're contemplating life there. So we'll start with you, Shane, because I think you've already made your selection.
Yeah, my nap of the weekend is going to come in the football, Tom.
Yeah, 3 lines on the shirt. Go on.
Under 2.5 in 90 minutes in England to win is going to be 12-5. That's my nap of the weekend.
Do you know all the words to It's Coming Home?
I don't.
Because if they win, you're going to have to sing it. So
yeah, well, if they win the final, I'll sing more than that. I'm going to put up Forest Ranger at 12-1 in the Carl Eclipse, who won the Huxley Stakes the last day at Chester, 12-1. And for the treble, I'm going to throw in Addy Purse, who will handicapped at 7-2.
Good stuff. Dukey.
I will nap Judicial in the 12-20 at Sandown. That's the Coral Charge. Very strong form this year. Just touched off by Mabs Cross and Newmarket. Yeah. Beat Line of Reason the last day. He ran a sledger in the Rockingham at the weekend. In between had no luck behind Muttmere. Now he's a horse who needs to be ridden for luck. Yeah. But normally he travels really well, and those strong travelling horses tend to get the gaps. I think he'll get the gaps on Saturday. Again, he's a nice each way price. He's 9-2. I couldn't see him out of the frame. He should get close to Muttmere this time, and I'll stick him in an each way double with Happily.
Good stuff. Nice each way double. Okie doke, Johnny.
I'm going to go to Ireland actually for the best bets, and they are at Naas tomorrow, which actually is probably going to be a quite enough day's racing, but some nice bets.
I'll be there to liven it up. It's okay.
You will be in the parade ring.
Yeah.
Rattling Jewel, I think, is a handicap. Absolute certainty.
Drop to a mark of 75 for finishing second.
Drop to mark 75. I think that's some sort of anomalous thing in the handicap system or whatever. But this horse was taken on horse rated in the 90s and was a sent off favourite 5-2. Was touched off by Alfredo Arcano, who actually is a fairly classy kind of sprinting type. Yeah. He's coming in here. It's sort of the equivalent of an FA Cup game against like maybe lower level championship players. Joseph O'Brien doesn't have him that long. He was with Nicole McKenna, and Nicola did very well for her. 2 rock solid runs. Just basically, I cannot see how this horse can be beaten. I really can't. Everything is set up for him. And
you're always this confident.
No, but he does look a cut above.
In terms of handicapping, Shore Step is running against it is on a hat-trick bid, but that's going up in the weights and is a front runner. Unless Shore Step pulls out more and Rattling Jewel, who has a lot of 5 furlong form, doesn't quite get home, but he doesn't race like that. I just can't see how physically it's possible if he runs his race he's beaten. And Little Clarinet is my second selection, and she is running in the 4:35. David Marnan trained filly. I catch her last time. Cheek pieces on 2 wins over 6, including at Leopardstown, stable in form. And she's a nice filly. I think she's a great chance. And my third selection is Galway United -2 to beat Athlone Town.
Okie doke.
We're having an absolutely terrible
-2,
season. Yeah, we're having a terrible season, but Athlone will probably go through the season without winning a game, which is quite embarrassing. But I think Galway United have a new manager, and I expect the old boost to,
all that oil money is going to come pouring in.
Well, that hasn't come in yet. Oil money pouring in, eh?
How are the Arabic lessons going?
Not too bad, too bad. Yeah, I'm thinking of converting to Islam, but
you got the beard.
What was I going to say? They have a new manager, and I think new manager comes in, you got to up your game if you want to keep your job type thing. So that's my third.
Galway United. Right, my bet 9 nap of the weekend. It's half-time 0-0 between England and Sweden.
I think both of those are reasonable shouts. It's going to be tight.
It will be tight. Under 2.5.
Yeah. A lot of the best entertainment will be when they shoot to some of the ladies in the crowd, I think.
If I could just very briefly
not wearing white.
interject, you should back no goal scorer in the first half, just in case there's an OG. It's a very, very small thing.
Yeah, good shout. That is a good shout.
I like the way you say to wait for that.
Yeah. He's always one for the Ricks. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you got plenty of winners, and we'll be back again next week with more What's the Word.